What's going on, everybody? We're back. Hard pass. What's going on, Remy? How you doing, brother?
Doing great, man. It's a good day. It's a good day to be me. It's a good day to be a Dolphins fan. It's a great day.
I'm happy for you, buddy. I really am.
Great day. I mean, it's a great day.
This pod is beat. Jacob, you're beat. But yeah, I mean, we had trade deadline day. You know, we got a lot. We got stuff to talk about. I'm not gonna go too long. We're gonna talk for about 30, 45 minutes. So the boys got to cook dinner and stuff and do some stuff with Camille. Shout out Camille, there she is. But yeah, so we just want to talk about some stuff. But I guess before any of that happens, let's recap. How was your weekend?
Weekend was busy. Busy weekend. Pretty solid, though. Got off work Friday, came home, had a little Halloween soiree. Your boy dressed up as Wreck-It Ralph because it's what I do. I wreck it. Had a nice little get together there. Woke up Saturday, hung out for a little bit, made my way down to Islandton, good old Islandton, South Carolina, for Kirsten's second wedding shower event. So, thankfully, didn't go to the Carolina game. So, missed that. Went to.
We'll talk a little bit about that
today,
but yeah.
Got home and on Sunday morning went and watched a Miami victory. You know,
this is what y'all do now at this point.
This is what we do. So, as long as Tua makes it through the fourth quarter, we just win the game. So,
well, that sounds cool, man.
How about you, bud?
Kirsten's having so many celebrations for her wedding.
Yeah, I don't even get it, man. How does anybody like her?
But it's like I didn't know all this kind of takes place.
Well, it's a lot of he's got family up here, she's got family down there. So his family did one, our family did one. So it was good though. It was good to see. It was the first time I've seen a lot of my family together in the same spot for a good reason in a long time. So,
well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Jim Post contract. Hey, man, you're gonna need a hell of a lot of donations.
That's a lot of donations. 95 million people donate $1. You're good.
I didn't have a. Someone say I just had a bad weekend. But yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where when you have a weekend like you had, you don't even want to talk about sports to anybody or do anything. Not great. I was in a weird situation where I always make fun of South Carolina, and I will continue to always make fun of the Gamecocks. But I thought we would probably beat Missouri at home. But I always said, you know, our offense coordinator is the worst offensive coordinator in the country. Unfortunately for Gamecock fans, he's also the best man in Shane Beamer's wedding.
Oh, that's tough.
So the only reason why he has a job. And so unfortunately, Shane Beamer is now a coward with the rest of them because he didn't fire him today. Today's Tuesday. He still has a job. He's the worst offense coordinator in the country, and it's not even close. I guess we'll start talking to Carolina because might as well, because this is where kind of my weekend just quickly went off the rails.
Spiraling down.
Missouri is not a great team. They're not good at all. They're some would say a bad team. But they've lost a lot of close games. But they were calling our entire plays. And I was watching that, and they were like, whenever we would do motion or something, they would know exactly what we're doing. And their safety would tell their entire defense what play we're running. They did that the whole entire game. Also, our offensive line didn't block. Also, we didn't establish the run. Also, Jaheim Bell might as well be dead. A lot of things went into how bad Carolina played the game. It was one of the worst games I've watched. In the past 4 years, me being a South Carolina fan. Now, I have watched a lot of bad South Carolina football over the years. But I have watched a lot of bad football, right? The past 3 years or so, I've probably watched some of the worst football games I've ever seen. Bob says the players have to take some responsibility for themselves at some point. Yeah, they do. But when the other team knows exactly what plays you're running and the college level, there's not too much you can do. So we don't establish the run game. We don't establish play action. We don't no play leads to another play. The playbook is anemic. They might as well run 8 different plays. And if one doesn't touch the ball, which he was hurt apparently, we are very bad. And Spencer Rattler, he missed some key throws. He didn't look too great, but also it's like we had about 3 different plays where it's like, damn, I wish you would have made that play. And then the rest of it's him running for his life or terrible play calling or bubble screens and stuff like that. I will say, we started off strong defensively, but they were on the field the entire game. We ran 11 plays in the first half. 11 offensive plays, Remy.
That's not good. That's just flat out not good.
I don't think I've ever seen something that bad in my life. 11 offensive plays in the entire first half.
I'm done with the excuses for Marcus Satterfield. There are people out there still trying to make excuses. At the end of the day, South Carolina, they have a handful of playmakers. We're not the most talented team on
We
offense.
were more talented than Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri's running back was a Division II transfer.
At the end of the day, Jaheim Bell is a guy that in a couple of years when he's in the NFL and we're watching him be a difference maker in the NFL, we're going to go, shit, that kid went to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people are going to be like, I had no idea. I had no clue that guy went to South Carolina. And the fact that we have a guy like that, a difference maker, a playmaker that tight ends can be the ultimate mismatch, especially a guy like him. A linebacker can't cover him. He's too big for a safety.
The thing is, we get the ball to Stogner, and Stogner's he makes plays.
Yeah.
Why can't you do that for Jaheim Bell as well?
Jaheim Bell to have 0 targets in a game. That's on the
he has the same amount of receptions, yards, and less touchdowns than he did in the bowl game last year. Yeah. All year so far.
It's embarrassing. It's
that was
flat out embarrassing.
That was with a wide receiver at quarterback, Remy.
And I'm not gonna praise Dakereon Joyner because I know his limitations as a football player, but in that bowl game, he made plays. Yeah. Is he even on the team? I haven't seen him once.
Yeah, he got a holding play in the game.
Josh Vann, who looked like a potential NFL player.
No, Satterfield's mad at Josh Vann.
Is just gone.
So
he's just not even part of the game plan. It's embarrassing. Listen, I act like the world's falling down. It's not. We're still 5-3. We still have potential to go exactly what I thought we would.
I'm not having that. I'm going to cut that off, and I'm cutting you off because I'm not having that. Because South Carolina has been bad the majority of my life. South Carolina had a chance to go 6-2 and be on a little bit of a roll. I know we're not good. I know we have holes. But I'm not having that, we'll beat Vanderbilt and we go to a bowl game. No. I'm tired of it, dude. I've had enough of this shit. Seriously, I've had enough of South Carolina's garbage. I've had enough of bad play calling for the past 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. It's been nothing but bad offensive plays. And then I watch other teams have schemes. Missouri, not a great football team, had an offensive scheme. Plays made sense. Everything kind of ran into each other, and they made plays look like the same play, but ran 4 plays out of it. And it confused our defense. Missouri had one guy on offense. They got him the ball like 11 times. I've had enough of South Carolina football. I've had enough of it, and we can. And this is what we're going to do, Remy. We're going to do the same shit in Muschamp's thing, where Muschamp would lose or almost lose every game, but he would somehow beat North Carolina State because of Deebo Samuel. He would somehow beat Missouri at Missouri because of Deebo Samuel and a kick return. We somehow beat Texas A&M because they gave us 17 points. Kentucky didn't have a starting quarterback. That was the one game where we actually looked decent ever. from start to finish. We always are good to beat somebody that we really shouldn't beat, and it gives fans hope. When deep down we're a sorry ran team with no scheme, and we have talent. We haven't been good on the offensive line in 8 years.
Yep. Oh, I'm aware. It's everything going into the season that I said would be a problem for South Carolina. It's the offensive coordinator is not good enough. The offensive line is not good enough. And is Spencer Rattler actually good? And he's just not. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He's got a great arm, but at the end of the day, he ranks 100 something in the country in almost every statistical category. You got to make something happen. I watched a play on Saturday that proved everything to me. It was a third down in the fourth quarter. We're trying to make something happen to make it a game. I have never seen a quarterback drop back as far as I watched this man drop back on this play. He must have taken 10 steps backwards. He wasn't running. It wasn't an immediate pressure. He just kept dropping backwards and then ate a sack for no reason. And it's just like, at the end of the day,
but that's what we got.
Yeah,
because
I'm not saying Luke Doty's an answer either. But what I'm saying is we had this expectation of Spencer Rattler, and I'm thinking we're finding out that that's just who he is. And somebody asked me, he's like, well, how did he have success at Oklahoma? Like, he put up decent stats.
Yeah, well, he also had a lot of put them up here. A really good scheme.
It's a scheme. It's a scheme. In college football, more often than not, it's one read. It's one read. You snap the ball, you know where the ball's going, and if that's not open, you take off and you run. That's how a lot of these college kids have so much success.
Yeah, but we try to run an NFL scheme.
Yeah,
we don't run nothing.
The worst NFL scheme of all time.
Yeah.
We don't run a scheme. It's just there's no rhyme or reason to anything we do offensively. So he doesn't have that here. He doesn't have snap the ball. This guy's going to be right here. You throw it there, and that should be the play. We don't do that. Our offense is not
we have Jaheim Bell's mom go on Twitter and rant about how bad this offensive coaching staff is. We have our quarterback come out after the game and go, we just really need to learn the plays better. We just really, how far are we?
We're at the end of the season here.
He's like, we're not executing. Nobody really understands what we got going on. You know what? And then Shane Beamer comes out and goes, I need to pull him aside and we need to have a conversation. About what, Shane? About what? About him telling the truth? About him telling everybody what we already know? No, because your boy is your best friend and he's with the worst offense corner. It's like a sick dream that my team, because you see Shane Beamer and you see how he could be he could be a leader of men, be a good coach. He could get it all together. But instead, he went and hired his buddies, exactly like Muschamp did. Yeah. So guess what, Shane? You equal your hire. When you don't call the plays, you're just as good as the turd that you have as an offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. So 100%. That's what you are at this point. Now, if you want to be a grown man and make some decisions that would better the football team instead of bettering your friends, then do it. But if not, Vanderbilt, we got to struggle against Vanderbilt, bro. We could easily lose to Vanderbilt. We could win by 3 points or whatever. Then we can go to Florida, put up a fucking stinker because they're just probably. I haven't watched too much Florida, but they probably just do better things than we do. If we don't return kickoffs or block punts, we ain't winning the football game.
I know.
Okay, and then we play Tennessee. We're going to lose by 1,000. Yeah. We're going to get ran out of the stadium because Tennessee has. Guess what? They have talent, but guess what? They also have an offensive-minded coach who runs things and gets their best players open. Jalen Hyatt is open every play. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not. And then we're going to lose to Clemson, who's not even a good football team, and somehow ranked fourth. So, and then we'll be 6. Guess what? Then we'll be 6-6, bro. And we somehow went to a bowl game. We won a couple games we shouldn't have. We lost every game that we should have by about 1,000. And that's who we are. And that's who we'll be. And that's who we'll be next year. And that's who we'll be the year after that. And going forward until things change. I don't care about stars anymore. I don't care about recruits because I see the best recruits come in and fall flat on their face. one of the best quarterback of all time at South Carolina was a 3-star wide receiver in high school. I don't care. Go find a football player. Go find the dude that'll get it done. That's all I care about. I don't care about how flashy he looks. Look at Helinski. Helinski was like the top 3 quarterback in the country. The man's a backup at Northwestern. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is getting it done. This is college football, not the NFL. This is college football. Figure the shit out.
You sound a lot like me with that take. All those years of you and Caleb hyping me up on recruits, I'm just like, I don't give 2 shits what that kid did in high school. I get that it matters to an extent, but to me it doesn't matter because exactly what you just said. If you're a 3-star and you go out there and you play your ass off and you prove it and you produce, that's what I want. You could be all right, so let's just be real. Let's be real honest to ourselves. Mm-hmm. The best recruits we've gotten recently have been Zach Pickens and Jordan Burch. Good football players. Have they made a real difference for us? We're talking about Jordan Burch. We've been over backwards to get Jordan Burch. And he's got 4 sacks.
He's made a handful of flashy plays in his whole career.
And that's it.
Zach Pickens is just a real big boy.
He's just big. He doesn't make the game-breaking plays. Now I get you need guys like that, but they're not difference makers.
Carolina is soft. You watch them play. Dude, it takes 5 people to tackle somebody. They always fall forward. Nope. And I was watching with Jacob the other day. I said, bro, why does our team always look like pansies? Why can't we just go lick somebody?
If you go back to the beginning of the season, I said this after, I think it was the first or second game. We got a lot of players that act like they're better than they are.
Yep.
We got a lot of players that go out there.
Cam Smith dropped a pick.
Number 1 is Cam Smith. Yeah. But we got a bunch of dudes like that. They go out there and they act like they're Sunday, bro. And bro, you ain't getting it done on Saturday. That is going to have an impact on when draft time comes around. And they're you have the measurables, but what the hell did you do the last 4 years?
And the reason why I'm so upset is because they whipped us. It was an ass whip. It was not close. I don't care what the score says. They beat the ever-living shit out of us. They could have scored way more points than that. The defense was on the field the entire game. Some dude named Schrader had 80 yards on a touchdown against us. They had 1 wide receiver. He had 10 catches for 150 yards. Cam Smith, if you're a football player, you say, I got this guy. Don't worry about it. I'm going to go get this guy. I'm going to lock this dude up. Mm-hmm. But no, guess what?
I agree.
We got whipped by a terrible Missouri team on our home field. And I ain't having no more of it. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to get so upset and I'll watch them. And that's the reason why I'm so mad is because for a minute there, I thought I was like, we could turn the corner a little bit as a program.
We said it last week. We sat here last week and said Missouri Vandy probably going to be closer than they should be, but those should be wins. Those should be wins. At the end of the day, we were ranked 25th in the country. Those should have been wins. But you really start to see. So if you're a true South Carolina fan, I think you deep down knew it was kind of a fraudulent top 25. It was we squeaked in some wins we maybe shouldn't have won. The A&M game.
What I'm saying though is, Remy, bro, I'm done with that. I'm done with feeling. I am done with feeling that my team wins a football game. And I told you, every time South Carolina wins, you come away with it thinking, how in the fuck did we pull that off? How many years is it going to take for us to be like, bro, I don't care. Back when we were younger and South Carolina was knocking fucking heads off, and we're actually, when we wouldn't even think about the years where we was going 7-5 and 8-4, we wasn't that good, but we would dominate games still. We would lose some tough games, and we would always somehow slip up to some team we should beat. But we would come our wins. We would dominate those games. And it's because I'm tired of seeing this soft ass defense and this. If I have a football team and they can't block, and our schemes are where their legs are touching each other, it makes me not even want to care, dude. It makes me so mad. It makes me so ill.
It is a little infuriating. I know. All right, let's talk a little something. Let's stick to college football here for a second, but change up the topic a little bit. I know you wanted to get out of here a little quick tonight, but college football playoff just dropped their rankings. First college football playoff rankings. We have Tennessee as the number 1 team in the college football playoff. You've got Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Clemson 4, Michigan 5, and Alabama at 6. What are your thoughts on the initial top 6? Anyone too high, too low? Anyone missing?
Honestly, it doesn't matter. I don't know why they do this shit. I'm just so fucking mad about South Carolina. I could care less. Tennessee's not going to be one at the end of the season. Georgia's going to beat them this weekend. Ohio State's going to be in it. Clemson ain't going to lose another football game. They're the most fraudulent team I've ever seen in my life. Clemson is not a good football team. They have not a good offense. They have an elite front 7 on defense that wins them football games. They don't even have a good secondary, but they're 4th. Alabama will win out, and they'll come back in the top 4. It'll be Georgia and Alabama. Alabama will beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, and they'll both be in the Final 4. Ohio State will be in it, and Clemson will be in it because Michigan will somehow they'll lose. So that'll be that.
Michigan has to play Ohio State still, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's irrelevant. I just broke down the entire top 6 for you. Remember? Anything else?
So how about
college football's fucking boring.
I mean, it's outside of Tennessee, this had to be pretty predictable, right? This had to be pretty predictable.
Tennessee gets snubbed, Jacob, because of Clemson.
How about number 7, though? That's the team I want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, guess what, Remy? You don't play in a conference that means shit. So they all.
It's the second best conference in the country. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's actually think about this.
But Remy, is your name Georgia? Is your name Alabama? Is your name Clemson or Ohio State? Because that's all that matters in college football.
I will say I was talking about that this afternoon. The fact that in college football your name still means more than anything
every year
is so annoying.
Every year
so
they rank teams, big names every year. Florida's
wild.
I mean, hell, Tennessee used to always be ranked. They're actually good this year, but for every year they're always ranked.
So, and I'm going to say this, and this is a little bit of a homer coming out of me as being a TCU fan. If TCU were Texas or Oklahoma, they would be in the top 4, 100%. Without question, they'd be in the top 4.
If Oklahoma was 7-0 right now, or Texas was 7-0,
they'd be right. And after beating 4 consecutive ranked opponents, they would be in the top 4.
Honestly,
I give same conference.
Honestly, I give Texas a lot of shit. I want Texas to be good again. I really do. I want them to be good. They're going to come to the SEC, and I'll when I watch them play football, they just somehow fucking lose football games. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But for TCU, they win football games, but nobody cares, Remy, because they're Texas Christian University.
It's madness to me that the name still means so much in this sport. That's why the expanded playoff, I mean, it can't get here soon enough. It cannot get here soon enough. That's insane to me, okay? I mean, the Big 12, without a doubt, top to bottom, second best conference in the country. And we got an undefeated team in there, and they're 7th in the country.
The Big 12 is deep.
Deep.
It's
it's a good
conference. It's actually a good conference this year.
That's kind of why I'm upset that it's dying. Texas and Oklahoma leaving.
But dude, look at the top 6.
It's dying.
If you watch Michigan play football, they're not great.
They run the ball very well.
Clemson stormed the field after they beat Syracuse, dude. Come on. But they're Clemson.
So, I mean,
Clemson's going to beat us 31-10. That's going to be, honestly, they better hope we win out.
TCU still has to go to Austin. And when TCU beats them, it's still going to be irrelevant. They're still going to be 7th in the country. They could win out, and they'll just be 7th because the NCAA
honestly,
will never give TCU a chance.
If TCU wins out and even wins their conference, they would still be behind a one-loss Tennessee team that's not even going to make it.
100%. 100%. Because they've done it to them before.
Yeah.
They've done it to them before. It's just the same song and dance every year. It's annoying as hell. It's
Well,
tough,
I don't
man. If you
even
don't
do
root
this.
for one of these teams, if you don't root for if you look at that list, that top 6 list, 5 of those top 6 teams, we would have looked at the beginning of the season and been like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense that they're up there.
I told you,
We
it's fucking
could have
boring.
known. We could have just known.
And guess what? If you're a fan of one of these teams, you hate that the shit's expanding. You hate it. Because guess what? That's more competition.
Now it's a challenge. Yeah, exactly.
Dude, honestly, man, it's like watching, and as much as I love LeBron James, it's like watching Cleveland play the Warriors every year.
Every year, yeah. It did get old, I will say. It got very old. Yeah, didn't love it. Did not love it.
I mean, that'd be a tough game, Jonathan. I know you're. Yeah. I mean, I think Texas is one of these teams where they have NFL talent riddled throughout their team. They do. They have a great football team. They can beat anybody. They also somehow lose to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things to where I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's just circumstance. They have a great quarterback. And if he did not get hurt, they was actually going to be good. And I will say that if yours didn't get hurt against Alabama, they beat Alabama. But that's the way the dice rolls, and that's how it is. They have Bijan Robinson, a freak of nature running back. He's unbelievable. I love him to death. He's amazing. But y'all still somehow find ways to lose football games. So until they figure that out, which, people like Texas is the sleeping giant, they are going to spend a lot of money every year now. And I think there could be a time where Texas has like a little raise, comes back like Tennessee. But they have to get the coaching right.
Yep. Have to. All right.
I'm done with college.
That was fun. That was fun, dude. Hyped up. Let's go. All right. One big thing outside of the NFL before we jump into the NFL, because we'll try and probably finish up on that. In the NBA today, the Brooklyn Nets clusterfuck that organization is came to a just amazing result.
You're just trying to piss me off. I'm in an ill mood, by the way. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
But
the Brooklyn Nets have fired head coach Steve Nash.
Because Steve Nash was the problem at the Brooklyn Nets.
Because Steve Nash was the issue. That roster of lunatics.
Steve Nash got tired of running the daycare that is the New York Knicks. The New York Nets.
7 games into the season. Fired. Now, we all know that Kevin Durant, we talked about it a lot. Kevin Durant had the trade request. He said,
let's go.
He came out and said, I want the GM and the coach gone. And we were sitting here like, dude, that's insane. Like, a player should never have that much control over your organization to where he comes out and says the coach and the GM need to be gone or I'm leaving. He got his wish. We're 7 games in. Coach is gone. Coach is out of there.
But guess what? I don't care, Remy. You could get the greatest coach of all time. The team is spineless, bro.
Oh, I know. 100. I love it. I love it.
When you have nothing but snakes and in every locker, you're gonna be a bad team.
They may be my favorite team in the NBA because I just love how dysfunctional and terribly run they are. I think it is must-see TV. Watching Ben Simmons act like a basketball player. You know how like every now and then a fan will run on the field or on the court, grab a ball, you think they're going to do something? That's Ben Simmons for 36 minutes a night. You get to watch that.
30-plus minutes every night.
You get to watch him run around and act like a basketball player. It's fantastic. Now, I won't say anything against Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant's talent levels. They are extremely talented basketball players,
human beings.
But they're awful people.
Nightmare human beings.
This whole Kyrie thing all of a sudden with the anti-Semitism, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just like, nah, dude, like, I'm not anti-Semitic. I just promote stuff that's anti-Semitic. So, like maybe don't do that.
You have people protesting on. You saw that? People showed up.
Yeah.
Some Jewish people showed up.
Now, to add the just cream on top of the cake here, it's being reported that they're going to hire Ime Udoka as the coach.
Who was just married.
Who is suspended from the Celtics after taking this. Imagine being a Celtics fan right now. You had a first-year head coach, year one, took you to the NBA Finals, and that was the last time he was your coach. The last time
I think he's
coach.
a great coach. Like I think he's a great
100%.
defensive mind. I don't know how he'll act with all these snakes.
100%, I think he's a good coach. The issue is you have a franchise that's built around a bunch of absolute lunatics, and you're going to bring in a guy who's been suspended because he doesn't know how to act. He doesn't know how to be a professional, clearly. So,
I mean, he had sex with the team doctor or something, whatever.
But it's also it's reported that it was a lot of like verbal assault and stuff like that, like things you should just not do. Things you should.
Listen, he's not a great guy, but he's going to a team full of not great guys. So
yeah, so it's amazing. So we'll just see how that pans out. And Boston
honestly,
was
dude,
Boston
honestly, when all these players just disappear in the abyss, the Brooklyn Nets will go back to being irrelevant for a while. I don't know how people want to go to this team, even in free agency.
Dude, it's a cycle with this franchise. It's like they remember the Big Four. Remember Joe Johnson,
I will never forget
Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett. You remember they brought all those guys in, and they were terrible. They were awful. So they had to burn that whole thing down. And then they bring in Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and it's been awful. And they're about to just have to burn that whole thing down. And it's just like a circle with this.
They're a team full of Kyler Murrays.
It's amazing. I love it. It's must-see TV. They keep it interesting. You got to give them that.
They have literally Kevin Durant, who is one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but really could care less. Yeah, Ben Simmons, who doesn't want to play basketball. And it's a detriment to the team. Literally, if he plays, they lose. So they have to say he's out and inactive for them to win a basketball game. And then they have Kanye West, who plays point guard.
Dude, everything you just said sounds awesome. Awesome. And they're losing basketball games. It's amazing.
Well, they don't play defense.
I love it so much.
Who on that team who's the roster?
But also you just said like they bring in Ime Udoka as a great defensive back. Who the hell's gonna play defense on the team?
Yeah.
They don't play defense. So it's gonna be fun.
They don't have Smart, and they don't have Brown, and they don't have all this length, and they don't have Horford and all these guys who like to grind and like the defense.
Also, so sticking just quickly to the NBA, how about the kid for the Spurs? The number 12 pick from last year?
Yeah, showing everybody's dick, dude.
Got released because he kept pulling his dick out.
Dude, I mean, I'm glad the NBA should.
What do you think's gonna happen,
bro? Honestly, the world's a crazy place. Like this dude's showing everybody's dick. He's not employed.
What is the end goal?
You have Deshaun Watson, who has 26 civil cases and gets $400 million or whatever it is. The world's a wild place. But I could say, me as a person, I breathe, I wake up, I go to the store, I cook, I work, I live a normal life. I don't whip my dick out to everybody.
Literally ever.
Like you don't go into your place of work at the bank and it's like, ha, hey, here it is.
So, especially do it and expect to somehow still have a job.
Or not be in jail.
That's what I'm saying.
They would lock you up.
What a wild time we live in.
You would be on a list.
For sure. It's great. I love it so much.
You would be on a list.
Maybe you should start, bud. Maybe that's how you get ahead in life. Maybe that's what I've been doing wrong this whole time.
You know what's crazy though? He cleared waivers, whatever. He'll get picked up in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah. As soon as it all dies down, wait for a Brooklyn net to do something stupid, and he'll just be an understory. All right.
By the way, Steve Nash, they say he got fired. He quit.
Yeah, no. The report is it was mutual. He was just like,
there's a lot of times we split up in mutual. Like, okay, no, you really fired the guy. No. Steve Nash was like, I had enough of this.
I want out of this shit. Imagine that first time head coach. Remember all the drama when they hired him in the first place? because he's a white guy who's never been a coach before. Like,
Did
it's
you
Steve
see?
fucking Nash.
By the way,
What are you
before we
talking
get out of here,
about?
did you see the home that Russell Westbrook bought in?
I saw something. It's like he's LeBron's neighbor now or something.
Bro, $33 million house. Remy, real quick, what's the taxes on a $33 million house?
Oh, it's a shit ton. It's a shit.
You have to pay that your entire life.
No, he'll pay it until he sells it when he gets traded out of Los Angeles here in a couple weeks.
What are you gonna do with a $33 million house?
I mean, he's got it. He's got it like that. He makes that every year. So,
But like, how dope would it be to own a $5 million house? Like, pretty fucking cool house.
I mean, like, fucking duh.
So
I mean, $500,000 here in South Carolina will get me some pretty dope shit.
What's the difference? $33 million just seems like a stupid.
I think $33 million. I own the entire state of South Carolina at that point.
I mean, honestly, I won't part in. I own restaurants. I own buildings. I own a mall or something.
It's fantastic. I love it.
But you want a house? Cool.
Let's just. I know you got to get out of here, but we got to talk about the wild NFL trade deadline.
Finally, this is how it should be. NFL trade deadline is no time a dud.
What happened? I think last year there were 0 trades on the trade deadline.
Yeah, but you could see this year was going to be crazy by week because leading up to it, everybody started getting traded.
Yeah, it
was so great, and not only trades. We're talking Christian McCaffrey, Roquan Smith. Mm-hmm. We're talking big time players getting shipped because teams are realizing that like you might as well get something back. I like what the Dolphins did today a lot. I am a big fan of Bradley Chubb. I think he's a good football player. He is a difference maker for a terrible Broncos team. Got to be cool for Bradley Chubb, though.
Right.
Because you go from living in Denver. Don't get me wrong. Denver's cool or whatever. They also call it Menver, where it's cold and altitude and you're on just a terror. I mean, you have to be in the same locker room with Mr. Unlimited, which is just probably the worst.
No more high knees in the aisles down in Miami.
And then he gets to go be in Miami. By the way, Remy, you know what's really frustrating as a football fan is I need the apologies to be as loud as the disrespect. And I don't hear anything. There's not one soul coming out, and it's weird because Tua had 382 passing yards and 3 touchdowns and no picks and only threw 7 incompletions, but nobody's talking about that.
The Tua believers are louder than they've ever been, and it makes me so happy to see that. But I agree 100%. Where's the apologies at? Where's the people that are like, maybe I was wrong? I sent you the links this weekend. Where's the apology from, Chris Sims saying, people think he's better than Taysom Hill. What? One of those guys is a tight end now. Yeah. And one of them leads the NFL in passer rating and QBR. So
it's crazy to me because it's like you didn't think he was good. Why? Why didn't you think he was good? Because he's not a tall white guy and he throws left-handed?
Thank you. 100%. It's insanity to me. It's insanity to me that I have to sit here every day and deal with that shit. And I literally told somebody the other day, I said, it's because they haven't, too many people have fallen for the tall, white, right-armed propaganda. It's insane. It's insane to me. Dude.
I told you.
At some point, all he does is win. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit.
But Remy, we're not. But dude, I get that all you do is win thing. But dude, we're not talking about a game manager here.
No, I know.
We're talking about a guy who is out here throwing 382 yards in the NFL.
Listen, I get it.
Making amazing throws. Just because it comes out backwards and he's left-handed and it literally makes people want to, I guess, explode. I don't get it.
I don't understand.
But guess what, dude? Tua is one of the greatest college quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. So I am not surprised that you go into the NFL and you give him playmakers like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki, and he's successful. If you block for Tua, he will find the open guy. Not
it's nuts because it's all those people that are like, oh well, of course he's going to be successful. He has good players around him. That's what happens. That's what happens. Look at Aaron Rodgers when he doesn't have good players around him. They are terrible. They're awful.
Look at Josh Allen.
What?
Josh Allen, they were a terrible football team.
Bad.
They went out and got Stephon Diggs. And they got Gabriel Davis.
Very good all of a sudden. It's wild. It's really weird how that all plays out.
Those things play in hand.
It is crazy. So I watched the entire game, and when I say that game might have been better than the Baltimore game. Just from watching him, it's like he didn't make mistakes. He didn't make a single mistake in the game. Like he was that on point. Now the rest of the team, the defense especially, was awful in the first half, and then so many penalties. I will say that if Miami's got one major flaw, it's they get called for entirely too many penalties. So they got to clean that shit.
Tyreek Hill is unbelievable.
But Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki in the red zone with Tua back there making decisions. Raheem Mostert's an actual NFL running back for the first time in forever.
We don't give him the ball enough, but yeah.
We don't, but when he gets it, he actually
it was a weird game. Y'all were down by a lot.
Yeah.
I get the load this week.
Now, to wrap
Tyreek Hill has 961 receiving.
He leads the NFL by almost 200 yards in receiving yards. Now, he hasn't had the bye yet, but that's still insane. He is on pace to break the single season record.
Only played 8 games.
Let's go back to that. I want the apologies to be allowed as well. How many people called him crazy for saying the things he said when he came to Miami? He's going to miss Patrick Mahomes. He's just not going to be that dude without Patrick Mahomes.
He's better.
He's on pace to break the single season receiving record.
I think what y'all done with Tyreek Hill is awesome because Tyreek Hill is known for being that giant playmaking guy. He's a guy that would catch the ball 5 times for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
But now y'all go, okay, well, we don't really have the offensive line that the Chiefs have, and all the kind of the play call. We need to instill some confidence in Tua. So we're gonna just let this dude just run rampant wherever he wants to go.
Yeah,
and it works.
And he's got his little running mate. And
thank God, I don't understand how everyone kept saying trade Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki is the tall guy in the offense.
He's the only guy that's got any size. In the red zone, he means the world to us. I don't know. I never understood that. I get that he's not the best fit for Mike McDaniel's offense, but we need him. We absolutely need him. Now, wrapping that all back into the trade deadline today, our pass rush has been anemic. We've got one guy, Jalen Phillips, the first-round pick from last year, who can get to the quarterback. He's the only one. The rest are run stoppers. They're, every now and then make a play. He's the only consistent pass rusher we have. Now, all of a sudden, fuck them picks, bro. I love that mentality. Fuck them picks. Who needs them? 49ers went out and got McCaffrey. They're going to have a good season this year. That pick's going to be in the late 20s anyway.
I like Chubb, picks, like I said.
I love Bradley Chubb. And now all of a sudden, you're taking a pass rush that's been terrible, and now you've got Bradley Chubb on one side, Jalen Phillips on the other side. We can't cover like we used to because Byron Jones being out. We have to run undrafted free agents.
Bradley Chubb has 5.5 sacks already.
5.5 sacks. Our whole team has 15 sacks. He has 5.5 by himself. So now all of a sudden you can counteract that lack of pass coverage since we don't have great secondary. Xavier is great. Javon Holland's good. The rest of the secondary not very good. So now we have a pass rush where we don't have to blitz all of the time to create a pass rush.
Which is really what's making y'all's defense kind of shitty.
Huge move.
Because there's a lot. Y'all give up a lot of big chunks because y'all have to blitz a lot. Sure. So it puts you shitty-ass corners. If they're not Xavier Howard, an old buddy that has yet to play for you guys and may never play again, that y'all play so much money for.
Yeah.
And if y'all have to play a Wouzier or whatever, what's the kid's name?
Iganagaby.
Sorry.
He's terrible.
He's terrible.
But now, flip into this also, we send the first-round pick, but we also send Denver Chase Edmonds. Now, I was hype on Chase Edmonds to begin the year. I always thought Mozart was the better actual running back, but I thought Edmonds, with his pass catching ability, with the speed of our offense, would be a big difference maker. He was not. He was flat out bad. He made a couple of catches and one big run for us in his time here. It was just too much money.
His contract?
2 years. I can't remember how much the total was, but he was getting paid decent money for a running back.
So I mean, and all in all, you pretty much traded a first rounder for Bradley Chubb, and it was not even y'all's only first rounder.
So we get rid of but we don't have ours because of the fucking Tom Brady, Sean Payton thing. But anyway, we get rid of Edmonds, and I'm like, oh shit. I told you this before we started. Myles Gaskin might have to come back into the equation. And then we go and get Jeff Wilson from the 49ers
who's better
to be our backup, who's just flat out better than Myles Gaskin.
Yeah. So and better than Chase Edmonds.
Oh, yeah. At this point, I will say I would have, at the beginning of the year, I would have given you Chase Edmonds. After he leads the league in drop passes. He's a backup running back, and he leads the league in drop passes.
That's what I'm saying. He drops
two
passes.
So
he's been a drive killer for you.
I will say, not having a first round pick for 2 years in a row, I'm like, it kind of sucks, but fuck them picks, bro. We trying to win now. And I'm so happy because we haven't won in so damn long. I'm so happy that we're going for it. All right, I don't want to only talk about that. There were some other moves out there I wanted to talk about. The Bills trade for Nyheim Hines from the Colts. The Bills, there was a lot of talk of them trying to get a running back.
Who's got Nyheim Hines in Dynasty? Does somebody own him because he's by
Colby?
Oh, does he still have him?
Yes. So Colts give up Zach Moss and a conditional 6th round pick. Zach Moss era done in Buffalo. See ya. He will now be in Indianapolis. Nyheim Hines comes to Buffalo to give Buffalo I don't know if he may be their starting running back. He's traditionally been more of a pass catcher,
but I mean, who knows?
But their running back situation's been awful for several years now. So it may give them a big boost that they need there at that running back position. And if you're the Colts, I think it was sell time anyway. I think it was time to get out of some of these players.
You missed my South Carolina rant.
Yeah. Oh, it was a good one, too. You'll have to go back and watch that one, Caleb. It's at the very beginning of the podcast. So
it's very beginning.
A report came out early this morning saying that if the Washington Commanders were not able to trade cornerback William Jackson, they were going to release him. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who are sellers, went and traded for him. I don't understand this move from the Steelers standpoint. I get it. That's a weakness of yours, but you're also a 2-6 football team. Why are you trading for 1-year players?
I mean, they did. that's weird.
So they gave up. They didn't give up a lot. They gave up a 6th round pick.
The big name, Rashad Fenton, South Carolina legend, got moved to Atlanta. Chase
Claypool. Now that's another one that's confusing to me. You're the Bears. You just traded Roquan Smith. You appear to be sellers. You're trying to rack up draft picks.
You also run an option offense in the NFL, by the way.
Why trade a 2nd round pick for a wide receiver right now when you're clearly not trying to win a bunch of games and build draft capital? I don't get it.
How does the Packers not trade for a wide receiver? I know they tried to trade for Claypool. They ended up going with the Bears because they thought the Bears picked.
The Packers are a poorly run organization. They're a poorly. It is what it is at this point. They are a poorly run organization. I was watching some stuff today. We got to quit giving the Packers a pass. They're a bad team. They're a badly run organization. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers made the big deal about them not drafting skill position players for all those years. And I will sit here and say last year they didn't need to. They had Devontae Adams. Who cares he was a 2nd round pick? He's the best wide receiver in football. You had 2 really good running backs. It didn't really matter that you weren't drafting a bunch of skill position players in the 1st round. Now that Devontae Adams is gone, it does matter because them boys suck.
Yeah.
Outside of those running backs, they're terrible. So at some point it does matter. Falcons trade Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars for a 5th round pick and a next year conditional 4th round
if he meets all kind of shit.
Yeah. So for the Jaguars, you're not going to do anything this year. clearly.
That's cool.
And he's
I like
he's
I actually
suspended.
like this.
Yeah. Oh, love it, because he's suspended for the rest of the year anyway. You're not going to do anything this year. He's on, I think, a 5th-year option next year. So, hell yeah.
See how he does. Maybe try to. You can even tag him. You can do all kinds of shit.
Talked about. Neither of us loved what they did with their free agency and the amount of money they dumped into pass catchers.
This is a smart.
Good. This is a good move. This is an actual number 1 receiver for middle to late picks. I absolutely love that move by the Jaguars. And the Falcons, I mean, probably best to just cut ties. Probably just be done with Calvin Ridley. They didn't get a lot in return.
I would say,
but
just looking at all the hauls here, the fact that you only got a 4th rounder for Robert Quinn, pretty impressive. I know he's getting up there at age, but pass rushing most of the time comes with high draft picks if you can get sacks. Kadarius Toney is a bum, but he's a bum now at Kansas City. So
so he's a bum in a different city.
We'll see. They trade a 3rd and a 6th. That's kind of a decent 3rd round pick. Is a draft capital is kind of high. But, I mean, the Chiefs are also always going to be good.
But you got to think, if you're a Giants fan, you used a 1st-round draft pick on him last year. So to only get a 3rd-round pick.
That's how bad you swung in
this. How – I mean, honestly, I didn't think he was good when he got drafted. I'm like, I didn't see it. So – but
so Roquan going for a 2nd and 5th and A.J. Klein. Roquan is one of the top 3 middle linebackers in the country in the NFL. He's unbelievable. He's going to shape the Ravens defense. He is a difference maker. He was insanely good for a terrible Bears team. The problem when you trade for this guy, it also means you have to put a lot of money in your middle linebacker position. Yeah. So it's kind of like a twofold thing where, like Caleb said, Roquan was a steal. He really wanted Roquan. My brother also really wanted the Panthers to get Roquan. It just didn't make sense for the Panthers to go get Roquan. To just immediately put a lot of money in him, because that's what it would take. Because we're going to put a lot of money into Brian Burns, clearly, because we didn't trade him. We turned down multiple 1st-round draft picks for Brian Burns. We'll see how that turns out. But I can't be mad at, and a lot of people are like, why didn't you take the picks? That's a haul. I can't be mad at the Panthers for wanting to keep good football players. Eventually, we're going to have to try to win a football game.
Yeah.
We tried last weekend, broke my heart like 5,000 times over again, just for me to come back to the same realization that we suck.
What a tough week, man. That was such a crazy, crazy football game, and for y'all to lose it has to be kind of heartbreaking, but also kind of good because it's, one step closer to a really high pick.
They're showing fight. Deontay Foreman looks good. He looks like he's a good football player.
I thought he was – when he was in college, I was like, dude, that guy's a good running back. That guy's a good ass.
And then when he filled in for Henry, he was like, these guys are good running.
He's a good running back. I just didn't understand how he never got a chance. And now he's getting a chance and he's proving he's a good ass running back.
Rams would give up 5, 6, 6. I understand that, Caleb. I don't want the Rams 2030 pick. The Rams don't have picks. The picks would be 2 years from now, 3 years from now, next year, like all in the future. They're always going to do this. I wanted to keep Brian Burns. I thought about it for a while. I'm like, damn, I really want those picks. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, we don't have but one pass rusher on the team anyway, and we're going to trade him? You know what's hard to do is find a pass rusher. You know what's really hard to do, Remy, is to find 2 of them.
I think from the Panthers standpoint, it's so defensively, you have some young core pieces that you can build. I talked a lot of shit
about 95. But 95 has been playing his ass off.
So you've got Burns, you've got Brown, you've got Jeremy Chin in the back,
and you have
you've got J.C. Horn at the corner position. You've got some young pieces that you can build around. Now the question mark I think would be: do you keep Shaq Thompson? Do you let Shaq Thompson go? He's getting a little bit.
We tried to trade him,
but he's getting a little farther up.
Honestly, I just don't think Shaq's a middle linebacker. He's kind of a soft-spoken guy. He's not a tone setter like a Roquan Smith. And I think Shaq Thompson's a good football player.
Yeah, he's probably better suited for the outside linebacker.
Yeah, I think he would be really good. And I'm not even saying outside linebacker position. I'd say in a 2, you remember how Thomas Davis used to be next to Kuechly? Like if he was that guy next to somebody who was the general,
next to the dude,
he could flash.
Yeah,
but he's not that guy.
I don't disagree agree with, trying to build the defense like that. Then you can really just say, we really got to focus on the offense. Like, at the end of the day, we know where the problem is.
What we did get right is our left tackle.
Yeah.
Have you seen how fucking good that left tackle is?
You've got left tackle, major piece. You got pass rush, major piece. You got a shutdown corner, potentially, major piece.
And we got a good safety.
So you got some pieces. Like I said, I don't disagree. You keep the young guys. You give them a second contract. You try to build it up that way. And then you spend all of your resources trying to hammer home the offense. At the end of the day, for the Panthers, it comes down to the quarterback position and the quarterback position only. Is it going to be, do you lose enough games to go get a top guy this year? Or do y'all fuck around and win too many and get stuck with the third or fourth quarterback in the draft?
Probably,
so that's going to be –
it's probably going to be the third or fourth quarterback.
That's going to be the key for y'all this year. And I'm interested to see how it pans out.
Honestly, I think even if we do fuck around and win some games, I think we're going to go all out and trade up.
And try and find a way to get them. And I don't disagree. Y'all fucked around for too long with the quarterback decision.
And honestly, I'm so torn right now between the two because I think it's two guys and then everybody else. We'll see. But dude, this is where I'm at with him. Young, mentally, he reminds me a lot of Tua.
Yeah.
Mentally in the college. He is a slight guy, very skinny, very
small guy, yes.
But he still has a pretty nice arm, but he struggles sometimes with his height and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he's got it up here. You can't teach that.
Yeah.
And then I watch Shroud. And Shroud is tall and is athletic and can absolutely make every throw in the field. But sometimes doesn't have it up here.
Yeah. So you got a decision to make.
And also Shroud's throwing motion is pristine. The man has the most beautiful throwing motion, very quick to the point, but sometimes he struggles with the mental side of the game. Yeah. So it's tough. And that's your scouting for Terrence Beal.
And I mean that's going to be the big question all through the draft process because
And the reason why I give the nod to Young is simply because he reads defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that translates more than anything.
And I'll tell you, and I don't know how much you've been watching the Miami Dolphins play. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm not an idiot. I get it. Like Tua's arm is good enough. He can throw the ball deep. Let's get that out of the way. He can throw the ball deep. He doesn't have the biggest arm. Like it's not even a question anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to. You're not throwing the ball 40 and 50 yards every play. You're making a living. Patrick Mahomes throws the most passes within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage of any quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. People only remember the big flash plays.
It looks good. Who gives a shit? Go win the damn game and don't make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch Tua play, the thing that makes Tua a good quarterback this year is you just watch him process plays. When he has time in the pocket,
it doesn't look. He never looks like he's confused.
Yes,
he sees what he's looking at, and he makes the proper read. Some of his, sometimes he might try to fit it in as too tight, or some couple of his picks this year have been flat out drops by the wide receiver, and you cannot. I'm never going to question that. But what I'm saying is also with Tua. Tua's a winner. He's been a winner in college. He's been a winner in he's been a winner in high school. He's been a winner in college. And if you look at his record in the pros, he's a winner in the pros. Sometimes, Remy, if you're just a good football player, you're just a good football player. And that's as simple as that.
And 100%. And it finally feels good to have a team that gives a shit about him. So I will say Bryce Young, you got to take that into consideration. I do think we're exactly what you said. I think the thing that sets them apart is mentally. That's hilarious. But yeah, it'll be a fun watch. It'll be a fun watch to see.
I think Shroud's great. I just haven't seen him have to mentally get up for so many more football games.
He's another one of those guys where he doesn't have to do that. He's in an offense.
His wide receivers, by the way, Marvin Harrison Jr. is
unbelievable. he's played this whole season without Jackson Smith and Jigba. Just imagine that. Now,
but he has Smith and he has number 2, who's
he has a system in place where he doesn't have to mentally do all of these things. It's a lot of 18's your guy, you're throwing it to 18 on this play, or 2's your guy, it's going to him.
It's the same things we said about
Rattler. When he was,
but not Rattler, but Justin Fields.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, that's just what you got to live. And now
but it's also a fine line where you go, he never came off his first read. Well, if your first read's always open,
then why would you?
But
you start to see that kind of with Justin Fields in the NFL. I thought Justin Fields was going to be a very good NFL quarterback, but you've seen, and now they've started incorporating a lot more like planned runs for him, and it's helped him some. But throwing, like reading defenses and throwing,
I will say slow.
There.
It's not there yet, but the game is slowing down for him. So.
Yeah. So,
I mean, the kids are young. It takes time, dude.
Yes.
Not everybody's going to come in and ball out.
I'm not giving up on Justin Fields just yet.
Neither am I.
My issue is the treatment that I was given over the past couple of years.
But also,
how quickly people gave up on him. I got to shit on people when they're not playing.
And I think as a coach, it is your job to coach. It's your job to figure out what your players do best and maximize their talent. And you see that the Bears are now moving the football because they're doing more option read, RPO stuff. That's what he's used to. Coach him. Don't throw him in a pro style offense because that's not what he does. Cam Newton came to the pros and we built an offense around Cam Newton. That's how you get the most out of your players. Look at Tua. Y'all have completely shaped your offense around Tua. He's good at the slants. He's good at stuff across the middle. He's really good at reading RPOs and stuff like that. So you do it in the NFL.
Yeah. Be a coach.
Be a coach
to your player strengths.
Marcus Satterfield, be a fucking coach. By the way, shout out to every one of you guys. Hit that like button. Please go back if y'all have missed, because
the beginning of this podcast,
me and Remy talk about how our weekend went, blah 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 blah. Well, mine quickly went into me ranting about South Carolina for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. It's at the beginning of the podcast. After this, go back and watch it. It's a good rant.
It's a good one. There's a lot of passion, a lot of hatred in those eyes.
As Jacob and Caleb could tell, I was not a happy camper Saturday. And I'm still not, to be honest with you. I'm still very upset. I don't care if we beat Vanderbilt by 100. We had a chance and they didn't seize it. And one day I will never forget the times of turning on a South Carolina football game and going, bro, we gonna win this shit.
Man, we got this. We
got to beat some ass today, boy.
Yeah, the Spurrier years, they hit different. To answer your question, Matt, I like Caleb Williams. The issue is he's a sophomore. He cannot come out in this year's draft. So
yeah. Also, fuck Caleb Williams. I don't like that dude. I've watched him a lot because I live out here and I have to watch all his stupid ass games. He thinks he is the fucking shit. Now, don't get me wrong. He's fucking good, but he's also a dickhead. So fuck him.
So last but not least,
he almost gets in a fight every weekend, Remy, with the sideline. So the other team. He's like Baker Mayfield grabbing the college at Kansas.
Yeah. Old Baker Mayfield trying to fight people all the time. One last trade before we jump off the trade block for the NFL that kind of got me. Hawkinson. The Lions move on from T.J. Hawkinson. The Vikings interdivision trade here, not typically seen. Vikings get Hawkinson.
Good on the Lions, though.
Fourth and 2/4 for a second and a third. Vikings announced that Irv Smith apparently has the worst high ankle sprain.
All right, so when they first announced it, they said he has high ankle sprain. He's going to miss some time. I'm like, okay, 4 to 6. No,
that's
average
4 to 6.
8 to 10 weeks.
8 to 10. That's the rest of the damn season.
Did he break something?
He's done. First off, Irv Smith has not lived up to the potential.
I was going to say, T.J. Hawkinson's way better than Irv Smith.
He was drafted pretty
Second
high.
Off, are they reattaching his leg?
Apparently, bro.
8 to 10. 8 to 10
weeks. 8 to 10.
Did he tear did he pull every ligament in his ankle?
Everything sprained. The whole thing. The whole ankle sprained. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, I think it's a really good move for the Vikings. The Vikings they're a football team. They're 6-1. At the end of the day, you are what your record says
Because
you
guess
are.
what they do, Remy?
They
run the football.
Yeah.
They have a quarterback who doesn't make the dumb mistakes most of the time. They have a really good wide receiver, and they have a very solid defense.
And now they have a pretty damn good tight end.
Yeah, they do. And always, you think back to Minnesota, you think back to Mason Rudolph, and they always had that big tight end threat.
Kyle Rudolph.
T.J. Hawkinson's a football player. He happened to be a Lion.
Yep.
Which, if you own T.J. Hawkinson in fantasy, his stock just went up tenfold.
Yeah, I just traded him last week, so that hurt a little.
Did you? Who'd you trade?
Yeah, Harris.
Yeah, but Harris is cheesing today.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty happy. But I got Kyle Pitts back, and
Kyle Pitts,
I'm
looked good.
Holding out hope. He killed it last week.
Honestly, he just needs a quarterback.
Yep, 100%, 100%. What a day! What a day!
By the way, Remy, the hell with you. I offered you so many Kyle Pitts trades, and it took me trading him to Harris, and then you trading with Harris.
Yeah, you were asking for like DeAndre Swift. I got him for Chris Olave and TJ Hawkinson. So I feel like I made out pretty well here. I didn't have to give up one of my good young running backs. I gave up, don't get me wrong, trading Chris Olave right now kind of hurt because he's been damn good. And Kyle Pitts has been pretty trash up until this past week. But I feel like that was better than having to give you Swift. So, my whole team's fucking trash. It doesn't matter. My team's garbage.
I got too many running backs, bro.
I am trash.
I all jokes aside, I do have too many running backs. I need to move on from some.
You do. I looked at
Austin Eckler, Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Saquon Barkley, Deontay Foreman. I have like 5.
And you wanted Swift for me. So I was like, what the hell are you gonna put him?
I still start him. I still want Swift, you motherfucker.
Start him. 100%. You just wouldn't start him.
I wouldn't start him, but I'd have him.
You would just have him. I guess you are correct in that. Okay, one last thing. Okay. Let's talk about it. Before we get out of here. Did you watch any of the Dallas Cowboys Chicago Bears football game?
Yes.
Did you see Tony Pollard play in that football game?
He's electric.
And after the game, we're still talking about Zeke being the starter.
They said we don't want to break up Zeke and what's his name, the quarterback?
Dak Prescott.
Terry,
we've said it for 3 years that Tony Pollard's the better running back.
When he comes in, he gains more yards than Zeke.
So, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think people overthink this shit too much. I really do. I really do. At the end of the day, all I know is when you give Tony Pollard the ball, he gets the damn job done.
But honestly, it ain't even like that, though, Remy. It was like the Travis Etienne thing when I was telling you. I mean, Travis Etienne balled the fuck out last week. And this, whenever players like that, like Paul, like he touched the football, he just looks better. He's more electric. He's a better player.
He's a better running back. He's just a better running back. I get that Zeke is a better pass protector. Okay.
Godwin, Lockett, Boyd, pick 2, PPR.
Well, I'm going to take 2, and then you just don't go with the 2 that I tell you. You definitely switch one of those out.
Honestly, first off, Boyd is playing against the Panthers, and he might have to go against J.C. Horn. That's one of those things you need to look
that offense looked a little lost without Jamar Chase. They looked a little lost. I like Lockett. I think Geno Smith has proved me to be an idiot and has played out of his mind this year. So I think Lockett is still a legitimate play. So
yeah, I will say all 3 of these guys, they're the same guy. Yeah, like I definitely think all these guys, like they're probably a 13, 14 point wide receiver without a touchdown. Of course. I think Godwin has Tom Brady. I like Godwin here. I also really I think Lockett's really finding his own groove again. He struggled there for a little bit. But Geno's been balling out of his mind. I would have to go with matchups here. This was one of those things where since they're all the same guy, I would maybe dive deep and look into the matchups before I could give you two. Because I don't know exactly who Godwin plays. I only know Boyd because I'm a Panther fan. And I will say if Boyd goes against J.C. Horn, he's going to struggle.
Just all face value, I would say Godwin Lockett is probably your safest bet there. But I don't think the difference between any of them is massive.
No, for sure. I'm the same way. Because honestly, if he doesn't go against J.C. Horn, Boyd's gonna have a field day because the Panthers are terrible. It's just one of those things. And also, who has the better quarterback out of all three? And I would say Boyd. But it's just a matchup thing.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate the question though.
Yeah, big time. Start Tony Pollard. Zeke, you can just be a third down guy. I
have Zeke in every fantasy league. And I've been trying.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
I have him. I have him in Dynasty because he was the throw-in for the Kyle Pitts deal. Now I have Zeke again after all these years.
And honestly, I'm glad. Well, I have him in my league. I'm glad I don't because I think he gets paid too much money to get outshined by Tony Pollard over and over again. So I don't know. I think the writing might be on the wall for Zeke.
Oh yeah, I think for sure is his last year in Dallas. But let's not overthink this. I get it. He's the higher paid. He's the first round pick. He's the flashy guy. Pollard's better. Pollard needs to be carrying the ball more.
You need to pick up. Is Gesicki available? Pick up Gesicki. Also, if Conklin is available, pick up Conklin. The Jets tight end.
Don't pick up Irv Smith. His ankle fell off.
His whole leg just fell off. So
I just wanted to go on my little mini rant about the Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott. It's become a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. I know I shared with you the stat comparison of Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew and what they did in their careers up to this point. Sometimes
also the Raiders suck. Sorry.
They do. Maybe Josh McDaniels, when he can't cheat, is not a very good coach.
Josh McDaniels is a sleeper agent. And he's sent out by the Patriots.
100%.
First off, too, I'm
in on this conspiracy.
But honestly, Remy, how does Josh McDaniels still get head coaching jobs? The NFL,
He's a Bill Belichick guy.
No, the NFL is full of dummies. It's full of dumb people who think that just because it didn't work out the last 5 times, this will be the time it will. The NFL is full of dumb people. Look at the Denver Broncos. They went out and hired a first-time head coach who's never called plays before. He's now the play caller for that team. You know what that dumb coach did? He went out and hired a defensive coordinator who's never called plays before to be the defensive coordinator. That's why that team is as bad as it is.
Yeah.
NFL also don't pay kickers. They lose games because of their kicker.
So many.
The NFL is a dumb, silly place that sometimes if you just take a step back and be smart people and think, the Ravens they're an average football team. They win a lot of close football games. Recently they've been giving up major leads, but when it comes down to one possession game, Justin Tucker can drill the fucker from 70 yards.
Yeah. You got to feel good. If you need 3 points to win, you got to feel pretty damn good.
Welcome to my soapbox. Welcome to my TED Talk about how dumb the NFL is and how dumb a lot of the higher ups. It's like they don't even understand football, but that's their job. It's crazy.
Millions of dollars every year.
The old "Am I late?" What are you, Caleb? Yeah, we're about to get out of here.
That's pretty hilarious, actually.
But it's
past your bedtime, Alan. Go to bed.
I just think that simplicity sometimes is the best. Like we go back to Tua. Tua's a good football player. Been a good football player. He's probably going to be a good football player, Remy.
Keep it simple.
Trubisky played 1 year of college football. It was not great. He's not a good football player. It's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. We're not going to go find a football player. Oh my God, he looks so good throwing the football. He looks so good in shorts. It looks so good in the workout. Let's put on the tape.
Let's see if he actually plays football well.
Yeah. Okay. Not really. Okay. Y'all drafted a special teams defensive end out of Oregon a long time ago.
Don't fucking
He
remind me.
He wasn't a good football player in college, or me. You think he's going to take that next step and be a good football player in the pros? Probably not. So,
probably not.
Cough, Will Lewis. Levis. That's who I'm talking about, Matt. And if the Panthers draft him, I'm going to be very upset.
You better keep losing them games, boy, because it's gonna happen.
We had him. They did a mock, and they had us taking him. And where I do think he is a great looking, he's a big physical guy, strong athlete. He makes the dumb plays up here, and that's that. But hey, he is garbage. You know, I wouldn't go as garbage. He's okay, but he's like Spencer Rattler. Would you want Spencer Rattler to be your NFL quarterback?
I don't want him to be my college quarterback anymore. So no.
I will say, I think Spencer Rattler's not good. I think he's probably would be as good as
almost any other quarterback in that system.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know, we have literally the biggest idiot as our offensive coordinator. He's a pompous asshole and nobody likes him, but he's best friends with the head coach. So as what does Jacob call him again? Shane Sweeney. Jacob calls him Shane Sweeney now because all he does is clap his hands and make up excuses for coming back next year.
Love it.
Sure. I mean,
where the hell else is he going to go?
Right.
I mean, he ain't going pro. That's for damn sure.
But, Remy, got anything to say before we get out of here? This ran about 45 minutes
longer than you wanted
but
it to.
But honestly, I needed this. I feel better. I think I'm ready to tackle the week. Honestly, it's been a really slow week for me because of my weekend. It weighed heavily on me, as anybody could tell. Saturday really shook me. I'm not going to lie. And it wasn't because I believed or this or whatever. It was because of like reality and me getting just tired of it. I'm just tired, Remy. I'm just tired of watching South Carolina do the same things over and over again. And then on Sunday, I sit here and Panthers start looking like a football team after we trade the best running back we've had in a really long time. We start running the football and we start doing good things. But then we couldn't kick an extra point. And then we get a pick, and then we couldn't kick a 30-yard field goal. And I'm just tired. I'm just tired of watching bad football.
You're preaching to the choir, bud. I, too, am a South Carolina fan and have the second longest playoff drought in the NFL currently. I feel you, 100%.
I really am pulling for the Dolphins. I like
21 years since we've won a playoff game, Terry. I was 12 years old.
I like Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is a beast. He plays like he's 6'5". He makes a lot of sick contested jump shots. A lot of sick contested catches. He reminds me of a guy named Prothro. I don't know if you remember him.
Prothro, how can I forget? One of the greatest catches I've ever seen in my life.
He reminds me a lot of him, like physically and how he makes sick catches. Too bad Tyron Prothro shattered his leg in two. And terrible catch. Sick catch, by the way, that was. He jumped a mile in the sky and caught the ball, which came down and ripped his leg off. But it reminds me a lot of Tyron Prothro. Tyron Prothro was a damn good college football player.
He was well on his way.
Yep.
Hey, man, I'm glad we got to have this little powwow. I'm glad you got some stuff out of your system. I'm glad that you can recharge a little bit. It's only Tuesday. We have a probably pretty shitty Thursday night game coming up. Eagles-Texans, I believe. So that should be a beatdown of unholy proportion. But I think you're getting there, man. I think you're going to be ready for the weekend.
Honestly, I'm about to go cook some sick-ass spaghetti, and I'm going to go spend some time with the fiance. But honestly, I'm not lying. I started this by not wanting to do it. Honestly, I did not want to come on here today and do this with you guys. just because of how bad in the mood I've been. But after me, I didn't realize how much hatred I had in my veins toward things until I got on here. By the way, also the Hawks haven't won a basketball game in a while. They keep losing.
We're off NBA. Don't just let that go.
I got a lot of hate.
Center it back in.
I got a lot of hate right now. But also, Tottenham scored a 95th minute winner today and go through the Champions League. So we did that. That was cool. You know, people ask me, why do you love so much? Why do you love all the sports? You have so many sporting teams. It's because the majority of them suck. So I have to find a shining light in something, in someone. That arm sleeve is down.
It really is, though.
Honestly, so I'm in a hoodie, and if I walk in public in a t-shirt, people should just weep at my sorrow.
Yeah. No, they clearly think you're a lunatic.
And you know what commercial keeps coming on television? Last year in the World Series, Ozzy Albies stole a base to win everybody free tacos. Yeah.
Hey, you got one. You got one.
And dude, honestly, you haven't even really – I'm not even upset at the Braves. It just – baseball is baseball, and sometimes it ain't your year. But and honestly, that's what I was telling Camille the other day. I said I didn't even celebrate it like I should have because I felt wrong.
You did. You're so used to the letdown.
I'm so used to the letdown.
I'm telling you right now, Terry. Would I love to have like a dynasty type run? Of course I would.
Right.
But if the Miami Dolphins were to somehow, some way find a way to win a Super Bowl in my lifetime, all it would take is one.
That's one. Honestly, yeah.
One. And I would just be I would die a happy man whenever that day would come. I would die with a smile on my face because at the end of the day, I got one.
You know, and that's another thing I was thinking about the other day was how much I'm kind of a spoiled Panther fan. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Panthers have been bad for about 6 or 7 years now. But, dude, majority of the time, Panthers are a pretty good football team.
Pretty good team. You've been to 2 Super Bowls in your lifetime.
Yeah, so but even when we wasn't, we were still going to the playoffs, and we were maybe losing in the conference finals, whatever. But the Panthers, I think the Panthers will bounce back and reign supreme again one day. But like I said, I do agree with you. Shout out the Eagles, by the way. They are fucking a wagon. The Eagles are really good. Shout out Allen.
Imagine trading A.J. Brown.
The 76ers, not so much, but the Eagles are a wagon. A.J. Brown, and this is like another thing where I'm like, I don't feel sorry for you, Titans. I don't feel sorry for you. You did this to yourself, bro. You know exactly what – you know what teams shuddered to think about was how am I going to tackle the king, Henry, at running back? And how am I going to tackle A.J. Brown at wide receiver? So you traded him to the Eagles. He's a difference maker for the Eagles.
So, he's amazing. But imagine a world where A.J. Brown and Tyreek Hill were traded in the same offseason. Wild, right? All right. So you mentioned that. Derrick Henry
is unbelievable.
Derrick Henry. He now has 6 200-yard games in his career, which ties the NFL record for most all time. But I don't know if you saw this stat. This is the craziest stat I've heard in a long time. He has 200-plus rushing yards in 4 consecutive games against the Houston Texans.
He loves playing the Houston Texans.
The all-time record for 200-yard rushing games is 6, and he's done it 4 straight times against the same team.
People go, man, running backs, they just got too much wear and tear on them tires. Ain't got no tread left. Before Derrick Henry even played college football, his high school team, he ran the ball 40 to 50 times a game. In high school. Then he went to college and ran the ball 20 to 30 times a game. And now he's in the pros and he runs the ball 20 to 30, 40 times a game.
He is built different.
He
And he's back, by the way. I don't know if you've seen his stats lately.
no.
He's back.
No. Teams are back hurting to tackle.
Yeah. He is
Honestly,
fully back.
with him, when you watch him play, he's like no one ever clearly is ever going to get a good shot on him. He's always going to fall forward. But here's the thing: your team has to be willing to sometimes go 3 and out.
Matt, it's been 3+ years of Derrick Henry doing this.
Yeah.
So it won't last long. It will last long.
Derrick Henry is unbelievable.
He is unreal, and he's been doing it. So it's not like, oh, he's on a good stretch now. It's year.
By the way,
he would have had 2,000 rushing yards again.
Nick Chubb never gets tackled. Like he always falls forward.
Nick Chubb is amazing at football. It's insane to me. He was a 2nd-round draft pick. That's wild.
You want to
talk about a matchup nightmare? The Bengals cannot beat the Browns.
Mm-mm.
They can't do it. I think Burrow went to 0-5 last night against the Browns. They can't beat the Browns. It's a matchup nightmare for them. So
Nick Chubb is. People don't give him his flowers. He's special.
No, he is very, very good.
He is and he makes it look so casual.
So you want to know the crazy thing about this, Matt? If he has 2 more good years, he's still a Hall of Fame running back.
That's 4,000 yards.
Yeah. So he'll still be a Hall of Famer. So I think he'll be fine.
Sadly, Matt, for his sake, you know what he does? So he lines up 7 yards in the backfield. They snap the ball, and he runs through people's faces. He doesn't juke around them. He doesn't spin move. He runs through – what was it, the old Marshawn Lynch thing he said? I run through a motherfucker's face. And sooner or later, they get tired of it. Yeah. And that's what he does.
Matt has a little personal vendetta against like every Alabama player because he's an Arkansas fan. So, like, I can kind of understand it, but that dude's different. Derrick Henry's special. He's the best running back I think we've seen since Adrian Peterson. Like, he's different. He's just
like as a true 7-yard drop running back.
Yeah,
he just runs through people's faces.
Very, very good player. I love watching him. Me and you, we have very similar tastes when it comes to how we like watching our football. I like turning around, hand that big-ass dude in the backfield the ball 25 times, and he's going to go win you the game most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you hand him that ball 25 to 30 times, you're going to come out winning the football game. Because like you said, people don't – my man is a full-on 260 pounds, and he's very fast. And those little 220-pound dudes – don't like getting in front of him all day.
And on defensive side of the ball, they no longer have thumpers at linebacker anymore.
Your linebackers have to be fast because they have to play pass coverage. So they weigh 225. My man outweighs them by 35 pounds. He's just going to destroy them.
And he punishes them. Also, before we get out of here, I know he keeps saying this. Shout out to NASCAR.
Yo, let's go, dude.
Wild finish in NASCAR. I love watching all the butthurt people in the comments. I read the comments today while I was on the commode for about 30 minutes. People are upset that he did what he did.
No, to hell with that. Craziest shit I've ever seen. Craziest shit I have ever seen in a NASCAR race. And he
pretty wild.
And he pulled it off. He needed 2 spots. He needed to pass 2 people. And he just said, fuck it. And rode the wall. Gassed down the whole way, just wrecking himself, just crashed himself, but he passed the people he needed to pass.
If y'all haven't seen the video, Austin was talking about it, he showed it to Camille. Yo, it's unbelievable what he did.
Yo, nuts. Absolutely nuts. Also, it all overshadows what Christopher Bell did. So, like I said, the Ross Chastain thing is
he went back-to-back races, right?
Not back-to-back, back-to-back elimination races. So the way that the NASCAR playoffs work is it's every 3 races they cut the field down. So it's like, I think it's 12 or 16 drivers. After 3 races, 4 get eliminated until you have 4 left. So in the round of 12 to drop down to 8, he was in last or next to last. The only way he could move on to the next round was to win the race, because wins automatically move you to the next round. He won the third race to move on to this round. Now he came into this week in last place again, had to win the race, won the damn thing to advance to the championship round. So now we're down to the final race of the season. There's one race left. It's 4 people can win the championship. It's whoever finishes highest of those 4 people wins the whole damn thing. So everything else up to this
point, a lot of people are just going to get the fuck out of the way, or how does this work?
Yeah, usually. So usually, like last year, I think the 4 guys finished first, second, third, and fourth. Because it's that they're the ones that matter.
I mean, they're going to be pushing it.
So that's the beauty of NASCAR is if you push.
It's in Arizona too. How about that?
Yeah, it is.
I should go, huh?
You should. If you push it too hard, you wreck yourself, and the championship's gone. So, but it's going to be fun.
Did they always do the last one in Phoenix, or does it kind of change?
Here lately, I think it has, but it used to always be Homestead, Florida. But now I think the last race.
The weather out here is so nice. It's like 70 degrees every day. That's probably why they do that.
So for those of you who are not big NASCAR fans, just go look at what happened at the end of last week's. Just look at the Ross Chastain thing. Nuts.
By the way, it changes. Okay.
It changes.
Okay. Well, that sucks. But we did set a wedding. We did set a date.
Oh boy.
We did set a date. For anybody interested, this is kind of getting personal, but 11
sports podcast.
11/3/23 is the date.
11. Oh, I'm busy that day.
It's a Friday.
Oh, even worse.
And I think we're gonna get like a Airbnb, giant Airbnb, and just have a giant party that whole weekend afterwards. So all of us are gonna be able to still kick it and stuff.
Maybe it's put me down as a hard maybe.
Yeah. But that was cool. I think we touched a lot of topics. We somehow lasted the longest podcast.
We've done in a minute. This time I'll be out here in 30, 45 minutes, hour and a half, baby.
I needed.
We got more people to watch at the end, though. It was nuts. All of a sudden, people started jumping in here.
Yeah. So I guess say your goodbyes for me, and let's get out of here.
NASCAR Championship this Sunday. Watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Should be worth a watch.
I'm gonna watch it. Who you got?
Ooh, Final Four is Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, and Ross Chastain. I will say Chastain is probably the biggest wild card because he has been a super aggressive driver all year. He has probably the biggest puncher's chance, but I think the most consistent driver all year out of the 4 has been Chase Elliott. So I think you got to like Chase Elliott's chances. But like I said, watch out. Chastain will do whatever it takes to win. He does not care. So he could be the big wild card here. But if I had to pick one of the 4, I'm going to go Chase Elliott winning his 2nd championship.
Camille's dragging me off air. Let's go Logano, Chase Elliott. All right, I'm going to watch for sure.
Yeah, check it out.
Shout out NFL, pretty cool trade deadline day. And shout out you guys for hanging out with us for an hour and 33 minutes and listening. Like I said, if you haven't, go back, listen to me rant about how bad Gamecocks make me feel and make me want to punch something. But hit that like button. Tell everybody about us because that's our biggest advertising right now is just picking up a few people here and there.
Getting new people here and there. Like, follow, guys, share.
Listen, we need to get Remy out of Wells Fargo. We need to make this somehow, some way. We got
to make it big.
We do appreciate y'all popping in, showing out, showing up, but tell everybody about us. Please. Thank you guys. And we will. Are we doing Thursday? Might as well.
We should.
Maybe we won't get
football.
We won't get banned this time. We'll do something different. Shout out. We'll see you guys Thursday.